Hey everybody, welcome back. Unboxing time again. This is a set of parts that I had gotten from Century Arms some while back. It took them a very long time to ship for some reason. Um, but anyway, I encourage you guys, if you have a CNR license, to definitely register that with Century Arms, or email it to them so that you can get dealer discounts in regards to a lot of their parts. You can even buy CNR, stuff through them. But one of the nicest things is getting a lot of those parts at a discounted price. So what I did was, in anticipation of getting my Yugoslavian SKS, the one that was bubbified a little bit, that's going to require some resto work. I bought a bunch of different parts. Like, for instance, I bought the grenade launching sight, the D10. I bought an upper handguard. I bought an entirely new barrel. And as I go through these parts, I'm going to try to stick them up here in the top left so that you guys can get an idea of what I paid. And I may also put retail, or you can go out to their website and take a look at the retail prices. So without further ado, let's get into this. This box is taped up really well. I have no idea how it's going to open. I think it's a flat. We'll find out. It's very interesting. I could have just done this all wrong. That's possible too. Yeah, I shouldn't open it that way. Oh well. Sometimes you make mistakes. Oh, maybe that wasn't right either. Oh well, we're going to get into it. Force our way in. This thing is taped up really well. I got to hand it to him for that. So what you guys are going to see here, you're going to kind of see a huge mishmash of parts and just some surplus items. Yeah. So I'm going to start with these Mosin Nagant ammo pouches. I believe these are Mosin Nagant. These two look pretty doggone good. They look in quite good shape, actually. The rivets look good. They're not rusty. Insides of the pouches look really good. No mold going on in there. That one's super nice. Let's get this one open. Apparently this one was clasped. Oh, and by the way, the brass retainers on the bottom look great. Looks like this one was manufactured in '66. I don't know how you guys can see that, but looking down inside of there, looks really well. Sometimes in a lot of these ammo pouches, inevitably you get some mold and mildew going on. That was actually the case with some German G3 mag pouches that I got. But you can clean that stuff up with bleach, especially since those were rubberized. It's not such a big deal as far as worrying about damaging the material there. So at first, this pouch looks really good, but check this out. Quite a bit of rust going on here under these rivets. Looks fine on that one on the bottom side. But that one's rusted pretty good. Now I guess you could possibly, you could probably fix this if you wanted to. Notice on that one there's a little bit of rust. This is just something I like to have if I'm going to be shooting my Mosin Nagant, any of my Mosin Nagants, just because it's, I don't know, I just like them. Take a look at my packing sheet. So those are $3 a piece. I mean, those are super cheap. I mean, $3, and I get one bad one out of the bunch. Yeah, okay, I get it. You know, could be worse. But for $3, can't argue with that. So, as you guys will see in a later video, I've not got around to filming it yet. I did order, or not order, but I purchased a Yugo SKS off an estate sale. One thing I noticed right off the bat, as soon as I got it, which I'll do a video on it, but as soon as I got it, I noticed, unfortunately, what had happened is they had painted the upper handguard. Now, at the time, I didn't know it was painted. I didn't know exactly what they did to it to get it black, but on the off chance that I couldn't remove that paint, Century Arms did have these brand new upper handguard wood pieces, or upper handguards. I mean, it's new, old stock. This has never been used. Looks absolutely gorgeous. Check that out, see what I paid for it. Take me just a second. Sorry, I'm trying to look at oh, there it is. It's called a gas tube cover. That was $13. A lot cheaper than what you can get some of the SKS ones, the other SKS ones for. So then we've got a big bag of parts. So this is a retaining band for my #1 Mark III Lee Enfield. If you guys noticed in the video of the C grade one that I got from Royal Tiger Imports, this screw was actually broke off into this stud. So basically it was cheaper just to get the whole assembly with the spring than it was to get just the screw. Actually, I don't think I could just find the screw. So I did order this. You will see, you know, this has got a lot of gunk on it. Just general gunk, but, you know, it's in great shape. So I'm going to use that on my #1 Mark III Lee Enfield that I got from Royal Tiger Imports. Basically, what today's video is a bunch of resto parts. If you guys notice in one of my previous videos, my M43 Spanish Mauser, the barrel band on one of those was heavily pitted. It looked pretty bad. If you notice, this one has a small, I know the lighting's, yeah, there it is. There's a small pitting spot on it, but all in all, this band is in excellent shape. I'll probably use this to swap out on that one that's got the really bad corroded barrel band. And like I said, I'm not going to take up so much time going through the parts or the invoice, so we'll just set that aside. These are detent pins. I believe these are actually for, give me a second. I want to say these are probably for either my grenade launching sight. No, not my grenade launching sight. Wow, I'm getting confused. I have so many parts here. Sorry, give me a second. I do need to take a look at this. Okay, that's the, let's get back to it. This is the sight retaining pins for that Yugo Mauser. Brand new shape, no problem. So one of the things I noticed when I also noticed about Yugoslavian Mauser, and you guys will see this in a later video, they had essentially neutered the lugs that retain the bayonet on there, and this piece, which is what that bayonet blade slides into, so you have the ability to lock it in, was also missing. So I had to order this piece. This was probably one of the more expensive pieces. This is brand new. It looks like it's brand new, just still covered in Cosmoline. Because I wanted to restore this thing to its as built, as issued configuration. Because as a collector, that makes it worth more. I'll just search for that real quick. That's it's called a bayonet locking collar. That was $350, by the way. $350. You're not going to find it cheaper, which is pretty slick. So this is what I was talking about here. On the front sight tower of that Yugoslavian SKS, what they had done, which this is in the white, it can be cleaned up, it can be blued, I'm not worried about it. They essentially cut these lugs off right here where the end of my fingernail is. So it completely removed the ability for you to attach the bayonet. And no, that's not how they were imported. I would assume, I don't know why it was done, but they were not imported with this removed. They were imported with these intact. So I don't know why it was removed, but this is that sight tower that is in the white, as you will see in a later video. I'm probably going to remove the one that's on there. I'm going to blue this. I'm going to clean it up. I'm going to blue it. This one's going to go back on there, so that I have the ability to reattach the bayonet. So, you know, like I said, I'm going to put parts up here in the top left. One of the other things I purchased was a couple of these muzzle covers. You will notice other retailers like Royal Tiger Imports are selling these, and they're including them with some of their K31s, but these were super cheap to get through Century Arms. You know, price up here in the top left. But for my Swiss K31 rifles, I wanted these. Another thing you guys probably noticed in one of the past videos on my M43 Spanish Mauser is, I don't know, this one does not look that good. Wow, some kind of gunk just fell out. The barrel band was pretty rough. Okay, this one, basically there was a lot of pitting, a lot of corrosion on it, so I was like, well, I'll grab a new barrel band while I'm at it. I thought this one was really rough. It's just covered in a bunch of gunk, honestly. This really needs to be cleaned up, but it looks like it's just a bunch of gunk cover. It doesn't look like rust. At first I thought it was rust. I was about to freak out there for a second, but you know, price up in the top left, what I paid, what you can get it for with a CNR. Let me get my gunk out of the way. Wow, that's messy. So, as I told you guys in one of the previous projects, or previous videos, one of the upcoming projects was getting a barreled action, K31 barreled action from Hunter's Lodge. This is the magazine that I'm going to use for that build when I restore it to what it should be. Set that aside. I want to say that was like 59 bucks. You know, just a few other little odd things, like, for instance, the grenade launching sight from that Yugoslavian SKS was removed, as I said previously. So, got a new sight tower. Looks like it's new old stock. None of the graduation marks are painted in. Those can be filled in with whatever color you like, actually. That's one of the cool things about one of these new old stock ones. Once again, price up here. Let's see. So, the gas cutoff button that's on those Yugo SKSs, I just decided to get one of them and one of the springs just to have extra parts, just to be safe. Once again, prices up here. Then I did have a few oddball end items, like, for instance, Sling Swivel, basically rivets. This is actually for an AR-15 to mount the Sling Swivel, you know, on like the A2 upper or the M4 upper, A4 upper, whatever you want to call it. You know, all the many plethora of combinations out there that have a Sling Swivel, you know, on the bottom side of that sight tower. That's what these are for, and they're just hollow in the end. You can actually use a shot press or a punch to flatten those out to retain your Sling Swivel. I kind of boogered one of these up on one of my other ARs, so I ordered a few, super cheap. I mean, they're like less than $1 a piece. I figured those would be handy. So, as you guys saw, in many of the No.1 Mark IV Lee Enfields, I don't know if you saw it or not, but if you take the stocks off, underneath that stock bolt, there's supposed to be a rubber or a leather washer, and that's what they used in the assembly of them. And I noticed on many of the ones that I got out of Africa, this wasn't present. So I don't know if they had taken them apart at some point, or if they just got assembled without them, or maybe they're stuck up in there somewhere. I didn't really get a good look, but these were cheap, so I went ahead and ordered some. It looks like these are in their original packaging, which is really cool. You know, I might need to do a little bit of leather conditioner on these before I install them, because I mean, these are probably close to 100 years old, but they appear to be in pretty good shape. This one's got a chunk missing. That's probably where they were trying to use as much leather as possible in the factory, and just maximize how many they were making. But you know, as you can see, I got a pretty good stack of these, and these are all for all my #1 Mark IV or #4 Mark 1 Lee Enfields. So what's left? So the only thing that's left really is, sorry, I'm referencing a parts list or the invoice off camera. Bear with me. There's a grenade launching sight lock spring, and then there's the sight lock itself. I think that's what this is, this little button. So this is all stuff to help install this. So let's set all that aside. Now, one of the things I want to make mention of here is, if you guys have a Yugo SKS, and if you weren't smart about it, or if you just didn't know, a lot of people probably shot a bunch of corrosive ammo through their rifles. It's very unfortunate, and it probably corroded the barrel, and, you know, for lack of a better term, a lot of people like to call it a garbage rod now. You know, it may not have been taken care of, so the barrel may be trashed. So one of the things I noticed, and it was in anticipation of getting my Yugo SKS, was, okay, well, if the barrel's junk, what am I going to do? So I went out to Century Arms. They have brand new Yugo SKS barrels in the white. That's what this is. And believe it or not, this is covered in cosmoline. I'll try to show you. It's threaded on the end. This barrel has never been installed. It does have a number on it. Actually threaded on both ends. It has not been drilled for, you know, the sight block or anything like that. But they had these. You know, this is that brand new Yugoslavian SKS barrel. They had these for $34. That is super cheap in my book. I dare you to find one cheaper, because I can promise you, you won't be able to. But anyway, you know, like I was saying, tons of cool, cheap replacement parts. So, like I said, I encourage you guys, you know, if you have a CNR, make sure you know, file it with Century Arms. Most of the times when you see these Mauser rifles coming in, Mauser pistols coming in, there's going to be parts associated with them. There's going to be equipment associated with them. In the case of the Yugo SKS, in the case of the M43 Mausers, in the case of the Mosin Nagant, in a case of, you know, I don't know, Swiss K31s. You know, that stuff is out there, and if you've got a CNR and you've got it filed with Century Arms, you can get it for what, essentially what dealers pay, and it's a huge discount. But like I said, you know, you can go back through the video. You can look up here in the top left. You're going to see the cost of each of one item of each. You know, like for instance, I think these are $3 a piece. To give you an idea, total cost of parts of what I paid for this entire stash was just a little under $200, which I think is excellent considering what some of this stuff is. I mean, this makes up a bulk of the cost, but it was $59 for this K31 mag. So anyway, there you guys have it. Make sure you check them out. This video, by the way, is in no way, shape, or form sponsored by Century Arms. This is just me letting you guys know where you can find some good deals on parts and they'll serve items, stuff like that. So anyway, thanks everybody for watching. Thanks for all your comments, your likes, and thanks for all of you subscribing. Make sure you share this with your friends if they like this sort of thing. Make sure you hit that notification bell, sign up for notifications so you get made aware of every time I put a video like this out. So everyone, thanks for watching, and once again, thank you all for all your support, and you guys have a great day.